It's the moment you've all been waiting for. The 2025 growing season is coming to a close. We're going to give you a tour of everything that has been going on in the orchard. All right, guys, I know it's been a while since you've had an update on what's going on in the fig orchard. I'm really excited about bringing this tour to you. I have to apologize to you. We have been super swamped this year with everything going on around us that we haven't been able to bring you the videos that you guys like to watch. For instance, in July, we went on a vacation for 3 weeks down to southern Florida because my wife had to have a hip replacement revision done. The hip replacement she had done last year didn't fully take, so she had to have the revision done. She's been down off of her feet. She's not been able to edit our videos because she's our producer and our editor for these videos. So although it is here in the middle of October now, we are really happy to catch you up on everything that's going on. We had a really bad freeze this year. We got down to 15 degrees and everything in the orchard died all the way back down to the root. So all the growth that you see here is this year's growth. So let's go ahead and walk down the line. Let's give a little tour of each variety so you can see how much actually grew on each one of these plants. I always like to start the video tours off with this first fig right here, simply because this is the first fig that was planted in this orchard. This orchard is 3 years old now, so this is the third full growing season. 2 years ago, we found out that we didn't get our full potential out of our plants because we didn't have any kind of irrigation and we had a dry summer. So 2 years ago, we rented a trencher. We put everything on irrigation. Now, Glacia Negra I got at the fig event up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it was a beautiful plant, and it still is. However, Glacia Negra has not yet produced any figs for me, and people rave about how good this one is. I'm excited. I know that it will produce figs one day. We're on fig season 3 year number 3, and still nothing. Let's go on down the line and let's get started. I'm going to walk down through here. I'm going to name off the figs. There are a couple of ripe figs on the trees, so we're going to pull those off and we are going to give those a little taste test for you. So after Glacia Negra, we've got Yellow Bypass. We haven't gotten any ripe figs off of it this year, but we do have some right there in the top. We are coming to an end. The temperatures are going to start dropping off here real soon. So we're going to kind of see what's going to ripen up for us. They are predicting that this year is going to be a mild winter for us. We're in a La Nina year, which is going to bring warmer than usual winter. This is a Peter's honey, and you can see Peter's honey is actually loaded down with figs. So like I was saying, if we get a good mild winter this year, maybe we can get a good survival rate on all of this year's growth. Next year we'll be able to get fruit a lot sooner. Right here is Stella. We have gotten ripe figs off of Stella this year. We've got a few left here at the top, but it has consistently produced ripe figs ever since August. And Longue d'Août is a sister variety to Stella. It makes a nice big fig, and this one actually produces more figs than Stella, but are about the same size and about the same quality. Negra d'Agde, beautiful plant. This one probably grows faster than most of any of my other fig trees that I have in the orchard. And you can tell it has a nice sprawling habit. It likes to send up a lot of shoots from the side. People will try to train figs to a central leader, and you'll have to really do a lot of pruning to train this one to just a single stalk because it really likes to spread out. This is a nice beefy plant. This one has always produced the biggest stalks. Nuestra Senor del Carmen. Nice figs, good fig flavor, and a good strong plant. I had a Black Madeira that was here. It died. I've replaced it with Conadria this year, so I just planted that one out of a 3-gallon pot this spring. Texas BA1, if you're a fan of the Smith fig, Texas BA1 is called the Cold Hardy Smith. So this one has a better chance of surviving cold winters. The Coldodom that I had here died. We replaced it with Zafiro. I started this cutting in the spring. We planted it in early spring. Really hasn't done much for me. We're going to end up giving it a little fertilizer boost next spring and hopefully get that plant up and going. This is one of our new Great Pyrenees puppies from our litter. Her name is Madge. And if you've ever watched the old soap commercials of Palmolive where they said, Madge, I soaked in it. She got her name because she always wanted to stand in her water bowl in order to drink water. So we just called her Madge. This is another Coldodom. This is Noir. Coldodom Blanc. Coldodom Blanc got a late growing season. It didn't even come out from the roots until around May. So it was a little slower to start the season. Has a few figs on it. We'll see later on if we can get some figs off of it this year. Now this is Coldodom Ramada. It's just as old as the other Coldodoms. It died to the ground. It has struggled in the last 2 years. I'm probably going to end up pulling it out and replacing it just because of it doesn't have a good root system on it. And it didn't really start pushing that growth until recently when the heat wave that we had broke. All right, LSU Purple. Look at there, we got a nice shiny purple fig coming on that, and that one's actually ripe. Let's pull that off, give that a taste test. But look how pretty these figs are. There aren't very many figs that is pretty and shiny as LSU Purple. And it's kind of amber on the inside, so if we cut that open, you see that amber center. That one's nice and juicy. LSU Purple has been known to take a couple of years of an established tree before the fruit really turns off good. This is decent quality, probably one of my least favorite figs in the entire orchard, but it's still a good fig. Another LSU variety, this is DC6. It's known for its Bariba crop. This will actually be the first figs that come off in the season. We'll usually start getting a ripe crop of figs around May or June off of this one. And by Bariba crop, I mean that all this old wood that you see here, whenever this old wood starts sending off figs in the early spring, that's known as the Bariba crop. Your main crop comes on all your new growth. So all your green growth that grows this year that produces figs, that's your main crop. And to me, the main crop just tastes so much better than a Bariba crop. I don't really waste my time finding varieties that is known to produce the Bariba crop, because to me, they're just really not they're really not worth the effort of trying to grow. It's because I just really enjoyed the Bariba crop very much. LSU St. Gabriel, this one has grown good for us. We've got some figs on it, and we still got some figs that's getting ready to mature on this one. So this one starts ripening off figs in July and goes all the way through the first freeze, as with most of our fig trees in our orchard. This one was given to me this year. I just planted it in the orchard. I don't remember what was here that died off from the freeze, but we have Wild Israel. It's grown good for me this year because the whole plant was only this size whenever I planted it. So I've gotten some decent growth off of that this year. Known to have come from the banks of the Jordan River. So I'm excited to have that one in my orchard. I really wish I would have had available space down there with my other Israel figs. All right, LSU Gold, LSU Champagne. Now here's a winner, LSU Scots Black. This is a really good fig. If you want a good fig from the LSU breeding variety or breeding program, LSU Scots Black is an awesome fig to have. Look at that fig crack going on right there. Shriveled up right on the tree. You know this one's going to be good. Good, good, good. We'll open it up. Look at that amber pulp in there. It looks so juicy. Excellent flavor. That is a must-have in a fig orchard. Michelle says she wants some of it too. What's your thought? Is it good?
Delicious.
It is.
Tastes like strawberry jam.
This is just regular old black Madeira. And I've had better luck growing the black Madeira than I have the KK this year. This one has grown faster than my black Madeira KK, which it's been known that the black Madeira KK grows faster than the regular traditional black Madeira. So that's kind of different and a kind of a little surprise. This was supposed to be the black Madeira tissue culture. They got it wrong at the factory, and a bunch of Tinas got sent out, and now that is being corrected. Now here's my black Madeira KK, and you can see this one didn't grow as big as my traditional black Madeira that I have over there. Still grew good, still got figs on it, and I'm still happy with it. Now here's a Mount Etna type that is really worth having. If you don't have BI 39 in your collection, this is another one you need to consider putting in. And I'm really happy with any of the Mount Etnas that I have. This one's a little past prime. Got a little browning on the edge of it. Still really good flavor. Olympian, I got one fig that's starting to ripen here. Good spreading habit, it likes to spread out. I'm getting a good crop of figs. This was known as a cold hardy type of fig. So if you're a little more freeze tolerant or susceptible to freezes in your area, look at adding Olympian. You can usually get this one at your local big box store. Here's another one that you can get at your big box store. And I say that because I got that one and this one both at the same store. I got them both at Lowe's. This is Violet Day Bordeaux. And this makes an excellent fig. So if you're looking just for an off-the-shelf fig to add to your collection and get really good quality figs, Violet Day Bordeaux is one that you really need to add. This is a variety called Patsy's Pride. And the cat likes to show this one off. Now I hit this one with the tire of the lawnmower this year. So this one laid over on the ground. So once these figs ripen off, I'm going to trim that that one branch off. But that's a good quality fig. That's really good. I enjoy that one. Now this is another top 10 quality fig called De La Gloria. And this is Cruella. We call her Cruella because of the striping of her on her forehead. Kind of reminded me of that witch off the cartoons. But De La Gloria is a really, really good flavor fig. It grows pretty good for us. Here's a nice big fig. And evidently my dogs love it because I had one ripening off this morning and now it's gone. There it is. And it looks like the dogs bit it and found out that it wasn't perfectly ripe. But this one actually, whenever the plant is mature, you'll get a nice big yellow fig out of this one. Good flavor, good, really good. Now here's one of our Israel varieties called Dr. Gawadi. I didn't get a lot of figs off of this one this year, but this other Israel variety that I did, this is a variety, it's called Red Israel, and it loads up with figs and turns a nice reddish color.
Yeah.
And it makes a nice big fig whenever it swells up, matures, turns red. It'll almost double in size of what you see here.
What's the variety again?
This is called Red Israel. Now here's one that I got from my friend David the Good. He brought his plants over while he was moving houses. I was babysitting it. I noticed he had this fig. I asked him, I said, what's the variety of the fig of that? He goes, I don't know. A friend gave it to me. I'll try to find out the name of it. But evidently, it's a Mount Etna type. And this one has actually loads up with fruit. We had so many fruit on this one this year. And it's good fruit. He came back over, he tasted it. He's like, man, he don't have this fig anymore. But he asked me to propagate one and give it back to him. So I just call this one Croatian David the Good, because he told me it was a Croatian fig. Here's another top 10 quality fig, Figa di Soles. Everybody knows in the fig community that this is one of the top tier figs to have, and it has loaded up this one stalk. And this little tree is now over 6 foot tall. But all the trees that we've talked about so far, unless I've said otherwise, all these trees are 3 years old. So this was the third full year. This was actually the first year I've gotten any figs off of this one. I had it last week. Colonel Littman's Black Cross is another one of those that is known as a top tier quality fig. And I know I sound redundant, and I don't really have a lot of them in my orchard, but I think I planted them all kind of in the same little group in here. Thermalito. It's one of those Adriatic types. I've not gotten any figs off of this one, so I can't say for sure that this is one that you need to add because it's not performed very well for me. Meteorito hasn't been impressive so far. Heard it say that it might be a San Pedro type, so we're kind of watching it and see what the figs do. And if they don't perform, I may end up replacing that. Cream de Fragola had some disease pressure. Looks like it had some mosaic virus down here. If you look at these little shriveled up leaves, this is what I was dealing with at the beginning of the year. Gave it a dose of fish emulsion fertilizer, and then I finally got some good growth out of it. This is one of my favorites out of the entire orchard, Cherry Cordial. I love the shape of these big spade leaves. Has a nice reddish fig. Now this one isn't going to mature up to be a good one. And then on the new growth, you'll have some purplish on the new growth. So whenever this thing is rapidly putting on fresh growth, those stems will turn red as they grow out, but then they'll finally green up. But this is one that has taken more than 1 year to produce a good quality fig. I've gotten good figs off of it this year. The ones that I have left don't look like they're going to mature out to be very much. I had two fig varieties here that did not survive the freeze. And I spoke briefly about the freeze. We only lost maybe 3 varieties out of the entire orchard. We are currently growing 142 varieties in ground in this orchard with plans to continue expanding. This one was given to me. This is called JD Homestead Bayou. Whoever discovered this fig, they had to walk through the swamps of Louisiana, and this was on an old homestead. And to my understanding, this fig doesn't stand anymore. This is just a copy of the one that was rescued and brought out. I tried the fig last year and I was really impressed. So I know that it's not a traditional Celeste or a brown turkey. I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll bring that to you whenever we get good fruit off of it. This is another LSU variety called LSU Thibodeau. Makes a nice big fig. Probably one of my favorites out of the fig breeding program. I just say Thibodeau, St. Gabriel, Scott's. Those are probably my favorites. I've got Chicago Hardy here for simple fact that we were going to relocate all the figs out of our front orchard and move them to the back orchard and get rid of the ones in the front orchard. But since we've made that decision, the Chicago Hardy we had up front has turned out to be a really nice sized tree. And I may even try to get rid of this one in this orchard here and just keep that one up there. Now here's another good Mount Etna type. This is Marseille Black VS. You see how that fig is starting to droop like that? It's soft. Go ahead and pick that off and let's slice this one up for you. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. That's good. That's probably just as good as the St. Rita that we're about to talk about. This is the judge right here. If it is as good as the St. Rita, she'll tell me.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
That was good.
Another one, Mount Etna type.
Looks like I'm having figs for breakfast.
Red Lebanese, Baca Valley. Now this one wasn't as fully ripe as that last one, so it won't be as good as that last one. But side by side, the same quality of ripeness. This one's just as good as that one. Now Michelle likes them a little underripe. Do you like that a little bit better?
The last one we had was really good.
Okay.
It was jammy.
Yeah, I like a jammy. This was Michelle's favorite, St. Rita.
Oh, there's a huge one right there.
Oh yeah.
Is that one ready?
Not quite.
There's a shriveled up one right here. Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at all these figs that are ripening up. That one, yeah, that's ready.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's good.
I had the littler one. Thank you. Now see?
That's good.
It's just as good as one of the other ones.
Yeah. That's just as good as that Marseille Black VS.
Yeah.
Yep. Black Zadar. Okay. Another Mount Etna type.
Is that one ready?
No, not really. Another Mount Etna type. This is probably one of my favorites. Adeleo's Purple. Just as good as those other quality of Mount Etnas.
Oh, yeah, this one's one of mine too.
And it loads up with plenty of figs too. Campaneri waited till late this year to come back from the root, but it's grown pretty good since it came back, considering how late it was coming out of the ground. Italian 258, another one of those top 10 quality figs. I haven't gotten any figs off of it this year ripe. Really hoping that we get a mild winter so that we can experience all these figs at a much earlier crop. If we get our figs to survive a winter, we get good growth, we're going to plan a fig festival here where you can come out and you can taste the figs, as you know, the ones that are available on the trees. We also have a nursery, so you'll be able to buy the trees. As soon as this video is open or over with, I'm going to go ahead and start taking my cuttings and getting those rooted out in my greenhouse so that we can have those available in the spring. Norday Barbentane, Lampaneri, this is Sunrise, Honey Plum, Alma, which is a University of Texas variety, Drap de Oer. I've not tasted any of these figs yet. I was told that it may even be a San Pedro, which means it may have to be pollinated with another, at least a male fig, in order for the fruit to develop and fully ripen up. Sister's Madeline's Dark. This is one of those that's been in the ground 3 years. Last year, it only got to be about this tall. This is the very first year we've actually gotten any considerable growth off of it. And we actually got a few figs on it. So I'm hoping here on out, we have a good established root system to get this one up and get it going. Okay, getting back into our Adriatics, we got Rockaway Green, good growth, loads up with figs, good green fig with that strawberry jammy flavor. And then the sister of that one is this Green Ashia. Not much difference between those two. And then we have the best one right here. This is White Madeira #1, Adriatic, green figs, red strawberry. But the flavor of this one is incredible. All right, next row, we've got Paradiso Bronze. And you can see this one's loaded up with figs. And I wish we were a little earlier in the season so that I could get that good heat to ripen those up so we can get a good flavor on those. This is a male variety called Striped Butler, and I've grown this one just for the purpose so that I can use the pollen to pollinate some of these figs so that one, I can breed them if I want to breed them, and number two is pollinated figs change the flavor. So I really want to try some caprified figs, caprified meaning that it's been pollinated. G. Neary has a nice big fig if you want one the size of a tennis ball.
It really bushes out.
Yeah, this one really likes to spread out. But we're starting to get some figs on it. And I know this is an earlier fig to ripen than what we are seeing here. But again, everything died to the ground. And whenever you have that big flush of growth, you're going to get figs later in the season. This is White Marseille. You can get this one off the shelf at your big box store, your nursery. Good quality yellow fig. This is Lemon. This is a variety that came from this is one of the varieties that came from Thomas Jefferson. And there were two varieties. Marseille White is grown by Thomas Jefferson, and then Angelique was also grown by Thomas Jefferson. This is the lesser known one, but seems to be a good quality, produces lots of figs, and the fruit's good. Madeleine de Douce Saison. Makes a nice big fig. Look at the size of these figs on this. Absolutely huge. And I really like the quality of these. I have to say, this is fastly becoming one of my favorites. It's not ready.
No.
That one's almost ready. That's not ready. That one's not ready. So maybe in a couple of days, those will be ready if the dogs don't get them first. This is another of the Adriatic type, Battaglia Green. About the same quality as the Rockaway and the Green Ashia. Martinica de Minor. Another really good quality, this is California brown turkey. This is not to be confused with the southern brown turkey. Totally different fig. California brown turkey makes a nice bigger fig and is better tasting too. Melasania calabrese. This one was in our front orchard. Thought it was died to the ground. When I dug it up, I threw the root ball in a bucket. And then after a rain, I noticed a sprout was coming up from the side, so we planted it back in the orchard. Hasn't grown good for us this year. We got better growth out of it last year than we did this year for some reason. This is a variety that was given to me by a friend, and I'm growing it out. I'm not going to name the name of it, just because we'll just call it an unknown, and we'll discuss this one later on. Col de Dame variety called Roja. It's probably one of my faster growing of the Col de Dame series. This is Col de Dame Coutat, and it's loaded up with figs actually. It's done pretty well for itself. And then I planted a Black Celeste right here. This is not the same Black Celeste. I got this one in a trade. I traded a friend for this one, planted out in the ground. And the leaves have just fallen off because, you know, we're late in the year, but the tree's still alive. Socorro Black. We had one die off right here. And then the Sisters. This one was gifted to me, and it's grown very well for me this year and loading up with figs. The guy that gave it to me just raves about that fig. And I've not yet to taste a fig off of it because the one that it did ripen up, the dogs got it before I did. The biggest threat to my figs that I've got are my dogs. It's not the birds. I was standing at the barn the other day looking out across the pasture, and the dogs were going through the orchard smelling and eating the figs that were ripe. Col de Dame Mutante. Martinica ramata, even though this one doesn't have any of the variegated leaves or the variegated figs that it's known for. But look at here, I've got a fig. And I don't think I've tasted this one yet, so this will be a new one for me. Pull that right off of there. This is supposed to be one of those top quality figs. Beautiful. Want to give it a try?
Sure.
Yeah, this time you tell me what you think about it.
It's good.
Good seed crunch. It's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'd put it right up there with the same quality as the Mount Etna's,
Sure.
actually. Mario's number 50, Casa de Lazaro. Another good quality dark fig. Now look at this. This is a Mount Etna that we have in our front orchard, and this was one of Michelle's favorites. Dominique's Italian. This one actually has a little story.
But we don't have time to go into that one.
No, but we will taste this fig for you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's good.
No. Grab that one. She knocked it off.
See, dogs eating figs right in front of us. You want me
Here.
to give it to her?
No, I want it. Give her the skin.
All right.
Did you cut it?
Nope, you ready for it?
Yeah.
Lampa parda, growing good, looking good. Slice this Dominique's Italian for Michelle.
You're not going to eat the other half?
Kathleen's Black. This is just a white Adriatic, doesn't have a name to it. Well, it's growing good. I don't have any figs on it. Good looking plant though. Good looking plants that don't make trees ain't worth having. And this one is an experimental variety out of Turkey, Izmir, Banyan Cirque, something. Whenever it fruits, we're going to do an evaluation on it and tell you what we think about it. I've not tasted that one yet. Black Tuscan. Maltese Beauty. Got one ripening up, but I don't think it's fully ripe today. Rubidoux. This one's got one ripening up, but it's not fully there yet. It loads up with figs. Look how good that thing just loads out. Good quality figs. Tastes real good. Here's another one of those very large figs. This is Dalmatie. Makes those like Stella and like Long D'Out. Makes those real nice big figs. All right, so here we have another Black Madeira, and this is a Black Madeira KK. This was actually a very nice size plant whenever I put this in the ground, so it had a good head start. That's why I see plenty of growth on this one, and it's doing really well. It's got some nice figs on it. It's growing pretty good this year for a Black Madeira. Next, we've got Manzanita. Manzanita's got one limb knocked over from the lawnmower. Got to be more careful with the lawnmower. I'm the biggest threat to my fig orchard, and Black Manzanita's got some good figs, probably top 10 also. Matoso Preto, that one's turning right, but it's not even soft yet. Moscatel Preto. It's got plenty of figs for the size tree it is. This tree was planted at the same time that one was, and there's a little bit of a size difference. So it looks like I'm getting better growth out of this one. Bordeaux Negra Ramada, the one that I had here last year, never grew. And this one put on plenty of figs this year, although the plant hasn't grown much. I'm hoping that the roots will establish over the winter this year, and then maybe next year will be the year that it puts on good growth. Ronde Bordeaux, that's another good one to have, except the fact that it likes to split in humidity and rain. So keep that in mind, that if you're going to add Ronde Bordeaux, it's hard to get those to ripen without splitting. But when they do turn ripe, that's a good tasting fig. Now, Red Book, I got this one from Terry out in Louisiana, and we did a little video where Terry talked about this being the cranberry flavored fig, and he didn't like it. He says it's probably the worst fig he's ever tasted. And his wife tasted it. She fell in love with it because it reminded her of cranberries. And I was like, well, I'm interested in getting a copy of that and put it in the orchard. And I also traded a copy over to Trusty Farms. Well, he reached back out to me and said, Randall, what kind of results are you seeing out of this fig tree? I was like, actually, I'm seeing pretty good results. It doesn't taste anything like cranberries to me. That actually tastes like a good fig. And he agreed that this is actually a pretty good tasting fig. Whereas I was hoping that we would get a cranberry or a bad or an off flavor, just so it'd be a little bit unique, a little bit different. But I'm happily disappointed that it's actually turning out to be a pretty tasty fig. Improved Celeste. Mary Lane Seedless. I just added this one this year. It was just a cutting last year. So off of 1 year, I've gotten pretty good growth with that. LSU Strawberry. LSU Everbearing. Sangue Dulce. Another Mount Etna type that loads up with good flavored figs. Can't say anything bad about it. Very happy with the production and the fruit quality. Coledon Coutat. Now this one didn't start growing back from the roots until almost summertime. I've already had put a replacement in the ground last year because it did the same thing, whereas this one it froze to the ground. It was middle of summer coming back. I thought it was dead. I bought a replacement last year, put it in the ground. So I have two of those in the ground. And then I've got Tash Kent. Tash Kent makes a yellow fig with no neck, so the fruit sticks right against the stalk whenever it's growing and ripening. Here we've got Pecan Island. I also got this one from Terry. And there's some talk going back and forth of whether might actually be LSU honey. I've got Feather River, LSU Olier, LSU Tiger, and Deanna is actually out of the California fig breeding program. Makes a nice big yellow fig. And you can see these aren't even ripe yet. And you see how big those figs are. Just the green figs are already bigger than your average ripe fig. Strawberry Verte. It's said that Strawberry Verte and LSU Strawberry may actually be the exact same plant. I'm keeping them labeled separate, and I'm not sure if we'll ever get any definitive conclusion, but from what I see, same leaf type, same fruit, and same ripening period. So it's close. If it's not the same, it's close. Benicia Dark. This is Cest Bond, another Mount Etna type. Capole Curtin Negra. No fruit off of this one this year. Juwali Rouge. Malta Black, another one of the Mount Etnas. As you can see, Mount Etnas, they like to load up with figs. And here's another one. And I'm really fond of this Mount Etna, just as fond as I would say as Marseille Black or St. Rita. But I really like the flavor that this fruit has. It's just a little bit different than some of the other Mount Etnas. But I'm really liking the growth that I'm getting off of it, the amount of figs, and the quality of the figs. Here's one of the San Pedro types. This is Desert King. It only ever makes a Bariba crop, but it's probably one of the best Bariba crop. So that's why I've added it in my collection, is because of the quality of that fruit. All right, now we're really getting into the short rows. These are all figs that we've added to the orchard this year. With everything we've had going on this year, I wasn't able to get these on irrigation. The rest of my orchard's on irrigation. And I've not seen any growth out of these this year. They've just been kind of limping along. Hopefully through the winter, they'll establish a root system slowly. Next year we'll have a good growing year. We're going to rent the trencher over the winter. And we're going to trench all the way to the garden for future expansion. But right here we got Bordeaux Blanca Negra. Jolly Rancher. Galbon. Isbanet Anaj. And I'll let Michelle get a picture of that just to make sure you know how that is spelled. Hativ de Argentile looks like it needs a little bit of water. We're actually supposed to get some rain next day or two. This is Madge. She was one of our newest additions, in case you haven't met her already. This is LSU Dr. O'Rourke's fig, which is an improved Celeste type, but this is named after the doctor himself, O'Rourke. Green Mishkurinska. Raspberry Latte. Moving on over, we've got Sal's Corleone. That's another one I got from Terry. Black Italian Russo from Terry. White Triano. Coldedom Gigantina. Constantine D. Algieri. Bebra Branca. And this is Verdino del Nord. And Angelito. Super DK. Flander. Now there's some talk whether Flander and this one might be the same fig. This is KTJ, Café de Jait. I don't know how you say that. Everybody just says KTJ. Texas Peach. Del Vespro. Natalino Fico Sereno. Michelle won a laser engraver at a YouTuber's meetup, and I ordered these dog tags off of Temu and have laser graved. Well, I started with dog tags last year, and then this year I switched to the metal business cards. And I think I like the metal business cards better. It makes the words stand out a little bit better. This is Moscatel Bronco. And rounding it all out this year with 142 fig varieties in ground. Of the 150 we're growing, we've got LSU's DC2. We've got some that are growing in the front orchard, but we're trying to add them all back over here to this orchard so that we get other plants moved from up there to out here. We've got some growing in the greenhouse that I've added to the collection this year. Those will be going in the ground in the spring. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button. Share it out on social media if you really enjoyed it. And become a subscriber if you're not already subscribed to our channel so you can catch more of these tour videos. Remember, keep growing, keep building, and always keep adventuring. Together, we're Flomaton Famous. We'll see you on the next big tour video.